Okay, let's be real for a second, Mets fans. Losing out on Kyle Tucker, it's dumb. There's no sugarcoating that. But what the Mets did after that, that's the part that matters. Because this front office, they didn't panic. They didn't reach, and they didn't stand still. They pivoted, and they landed Bo Bichette. So let's break down why this was a smart bounce-back move. How Bo Bichette can impact the Mets in 2026 at the plate and in the field, and why even after this signing, the job for David Stearns is still not finished before spring training. When the Mets missed out on Kyle Tucker, the question was simple. It was this: do you overcorrect or do you make a calculated move that still raises your floor? Important question for the Mets to ask. This Bo Bichette signing is the latter. This is not a consolation prize. This is a high-contact, high-impact bat coming off of one of the most consistent offensive seasons in baseball. In 2025, Bo Bichette hit .311. That was second only to Aaron Judge among qualified hitters. Only 7 players in all of Major League Baseball hit over .300 with at least 450 plate appearances. Bo Bichette, he was one of them. Now, this is where the fit gets real interesting. Bo Bichette is not a 3 true outcomes guy. He puts the ball in play, and he does some damage when it really matters. Last season, he led all of baseball with a .391 average with runners in scoring position. That's better than anyone else in the sport. He was top 10 in line drive percentage, game-tying RBIs, game-winning RBIs, and balls in play per game. This is a bat that plays in big moments. Just look at the World Series. 7 games, .348 average, 6 ribbies, that was tied for the most in the series, and the highest average with runners in scoring position among all players who appeared. This is a player who does not shrink when the stage gets bigger. And what makes this even more appealing for the Mets is the fact that there's no obvious platoon issue. Bo Bichette, he hits left-handed and right-handed pitching. His splits, they're even. And he handles almost every pitch type: fastballs, sinkers, changeups, curveballs. The only pitch that gave him trouble in 2025 was sliders from left-handed pitchers. Everything else, he handled that. That matters, and it really matters over a 162-game season. And it definitely matters in October. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Bo Bichette does not have extensive experience at third base. That's a real question, and it is a fair one. But this is also where context matters, folks. This is not about asking him to be a Gold Glover on day one. This is about athleticism, arm talent, and instincts translating to a new spot. And then there's also this. In 9 career games at Citi Field, Bo Bichette, he's hit .316 with a .381 on-base percentage and a .421 slugging percentage. So he's already shown that he's comfortable in this ballpark. So the hope is that he'll even be more comfortable playing half of his games at Flushing. Here's the most important part of this signing, though. Bo Bichette cannot be the final move. And not because he isn't enough to play. He is. But Bo Bichette, you know this, he's the impact bat. He raises the floor of this lineup. He lengthens it. And he gives the Mets a reliable, high average presence in big spots. But this signing also raises bigger roster questions right now. The infield, it's crowded, and I mean real crowded. And you can't go into the season with a roster that's heavy on infielders and light everywhere else. Currently, right now, look at the Mets roster. They have 8 infielders and 2 outfielders. That's not gonna work. So, what's the plan for David Stearns and Steve Cohen? How does this infield shake out, and how does it balance with the rest of the roster? Because the most urgent needs are clear. This team still needs starting pitching. This team still needs outfield help. Those are not luxuries. Those are priorities. Bo Bichette makes the Mets better. There's no question about it. But if this offseason is going to fully come together, the Mets have to address rotation stability and outfield depth. This move, this was a strong step forward. It was, I would say, a smart step forward. But here's the thing. It can't be the last step. So yeah, losing out on Kyle Tucker hurt, but the response mattered more. Bo Bichette is a smart, calculated, and impactful move that makes the Mets better in 2026. Now the question, it's simple. What's next? Hopefully, the answers will come soon here on Straight Outta Flushing.